Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch of Notes podcast. This is Dan here with Big Cass. And Big Cass, Buckeyes are 1-0. They're slated to take on the Western Michigan Broncos this week.
Woohoo!
It's a night game. It's going to be a little chilly, which is nice. It's going to be football weather and like in the 50s at night, 60s when all it's sunny out. I'll be in attendance. I'm jacked. But I mean, I'll say this. Akron was like playing on freshman level. Western Michigan is like playing on sophomore level.
Varsity.
Marshall will be junior level. Michigan State will be varsity. And then Iowa will be All American. And then Oregon and the rest of the schedule is Heisman. That's the way I'm kind of looking at the way the schedule is progressing. Western Michigan, I think they'll be a little more competitive. They were competitive against Wisconsin. It wasn't a blowout. It was 28-14. They definitely held their own in the first half. And I just have some takeaways from watching the game, watching the film. I know you probably do too. So let's get into it. Let's break down some Western Michigan.
They're not gonna blow you away, man. The quarterback was efficient, 12 of 18, 141 yards, average seven yards pat completion, but he had no touchdowns and one interception. They did have Jalen Buckley rush for 64 yards, averaged 4 yards a carry for 2 touchdowns. As it all, their offense is very lethargic. I
It
think
is.
Akron's offense might be a little bit better. Um, but they're gonna play some defense. They're gonna play some tough defense. However, Ohio State compared to Wisconsin is a totally different animal. Like it really is. Um, Granted, I think playing at Wisconsin is going to be a little bit tougher environment than Ohio State because Ohio State fans are going to be like, "Oh yeah, it's night game, but look who we're playing. We're on BTN." So I think Western Michigan's going to come jacked up, but I also think Ohio State's going to come really jacked up in this game because a lot of fans, you know, a lot of fans weren't happy with the first half, and I don't think Ryan Day was happy with the first half. He wants to come off with a hot start. And this game is a very potential to do that. However, Western Michigan also going to try to slow the game down. Everybody is. No matter who plays the Buckeyes, are going to try to slow this game down.
Yes.
I do think Western Michigan is a little bit better team. Um,
Then
and
Akron.
yeah, but it's weird. I think their defense, I think their offense, I think Akron's offense might be a little bit better. Maybe. I don't know. It's really hard.
I
I look
like
at these two teams and they're about the same.
I like so well when I was watching the tape, I really like Western Michigan's defensive front. They stood out against Wisconsin. They impressed me. They flashed. I thought they were getting into the backfield, getting a push at times.
They got 5 sacks, so yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, and it really stood out to me on the film. And the one guy who I really like, he's number 54. If you watch the film, number 54, it should be, I believe his name's Mason Nelson. Yeah, Mason Nelson. He's their nose tackle. And it's weird. They're a 4-3 on paper, but they really like to walk up. I mean, at least what I was counting, they like to walk up a linebacker, and it's really they play five on the line. And Mason Nelson, he's the nose tackle in this, and then they also play another defensive tackle, Ontario Thompson. But the defensive line is very tenacious, and they usually give like a five-man front sometimes. So it's going to be interesting to see how we're able to run the ball on that. I think the defense will give the run game some fits. Um, when it comes to their linebackers and their corners, there's really no depth there. They have their safeties are outside their defensive line. Their safeties are the strongest part. They have their two starters from last year. One of them had the most interceptions and the most tackles. Defense is really good. Offense, though, like you said, a lot to be desired. Their one back had 1,000 yards. He might and remember my prediction that I only have 2 teams rushing for over 100 yards against Ohio State. I wouldn't be shocked if Jalen Buckley is one of those players, who rushes for over 100 yards, but it would be in the garbage time, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you look the four deep defensive tackles for Ohio State, they were so good. This whole defense was so
They
good,
were.
and they're playing like that safe, violent. They're playing violently, but into the means. And I just don't see this offense moving the ball, but I do see them taking a lot of time off the clock. It just all depends on our offense. Like, can our
Yeah.
offense start fast? Is Donovan Jackson going to play? If so, is he on a pitch count? Like, how much is he going to play?
It's a really good I mean, it's a really good game for our offensive line to get right. I really think this is good. I'm challenging them this game. This is a really get right game. There's no reason why the receivers shouldn't dominate though against these corners. And
Oh yeah,
vice versa, Ohio State's corners should dominate against these receivers. These receivers are not big receivers. I think their tallest guy is 6'1". They're like all they have like all those small shifty guys. It feels like not small, but 6 foot, 5'11", not big. Kenneth Womack, he's their senior receiver. He led them last year, 691 receiving yards. And then Anthony Sambucci, he's the X. He also had a pretty good season last year. They do have their tight end returning, Blake Bosma. I mean, that was basically the bulk of the receiving last year. But their quarterback, Wolf, he's not great. Um, he's just not it. I think if you put maybe um the Akron quarterbacks, if you gave this team the Akron quarterbacks, I would be a little more intrigued. I think that those quarterbacks were a lot more dynamic. And I'll tell you what, Finley, that guy took a punishing. Um, I mean, he's probably still icing everything, but I mean, there's no excuses for why the Buckeyes shouldn't dominate from start to finish in this one.
yeah, and I think, like I said, you're going to see this in Blake's report too this week of of the Silver Bulletin staff score predictions, and I'm just going to read this off and see what you think, Dan. I said offensively, Chip Kelly is going to continue to give Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins a heavy load this week in the run game. With Kelly wanting to establish the run, he will continue to make Will Howard comfortable in the passing game with a lot of RPOs. Unknown factor is the health of Donovan Jackson. If he is healthy, what is the play count? Look for Jackson. Will Ryan Day and Chip Kelly give him a pitch count? Also help with the depth with Austin Serveld at guard. Defensively, look for Jim Knowles to continue to play more base defense and allow his athletes to continue to make plays. Look for more pressure on the quarterback from the front 6 or 7, and then we'll get more into special teams. But that's what I offensively and defensively what I think Ohio State's going to do.
I think you're spot on. The only thing I would amend is I don't know how much they're gonna try to run Trey and Judkins. This feels like I feel like they're gonna give them the same mix as they did against Akron. There's no reason to overrun these guys against Western Michigan.
No, and I think what they're going to do is try to establish the run game. Because they feel like they weren't able to establish the way. Heck, we're sitting here saying they weren't able to establish the run game, but yet they averaged 5 yards a carry almost. Like
They're gonna
that's
establish the run. If they want to establish the run game, do it James Peoples. I hate to say he is expendable. I want Trey and Judkins healthy with their legs underneath them for when it's the playoff stretch. I don't care what they do against Western Michigan. It's not going to move the needle when it comes to voting.
but I think they got to get them rolling. Like they got to get those guys rolling. I look for big runs out of both of them. That's big runs out of both of them.
I, I I'm looking for big plays from the receivers. I think Carnell Tate is going to be in for a big day. I think Jeremiah is going to be in for a big day. I think Emeka is going to be in for a big day. I think Innis might get involved at one point. I think the receivers are gonna feast. I could even see Jaden Ballard and Devin Brown connecting on a long bomb. I just think, you know, the matchup here is in the passing game. It really is. I think we're poised to dominate through the air this week.
I think so too, and I think it's going to be something to see what Will Howard's going to be jacked. I think first think about it, this will be his first night game in the shoe. Whether if it's who cares who it is, he's going to be jacked and ready to go. I see where your point is. Where I could see Will Howard come by into the first quarter with 3 touchdown passes.
I mean, like we're talking about getting the backs going, but this Chip might want to get Will in a rhythm. I think that's what he's going to try to
Yeah,
do. Will confident, continue to build upon what he did last week. Because if he continues to take strides from last week, he's a Heisman favorite.
yep.
It's not even close. Like he might be the Heisman front runner if he continues to play like he did last week. And I know the stats weren't all there compared. Right now, the stats are funky because right now DJU leads the league, leads the whole NCAA in passing yard just because they played an extra game. So right now, the stats are kind of weird. I think that's going to even itself out. That will obviously even itself out once it gets to the end of the season. I just want to see Will continue to operate the offense in an efficient manner, in a confident, cool, calm, collected manner where, hey, so like if something breaks down, the line breaks down, which it's okay if it breaks down against this defensive line. I'm not expecting them to play perfect. I just want them to play a little better. But if it breaks down, which it is going to against this defensive line, I want to see him, scramble, make some room, and continue to look downfield, hit some receivers, and maybe scramble for a first down or two. But literally just keep doing what he did last week, and then the receivers just got to make the plays. That's literally all it's going to be.
All right, it's time for some game predictions. Here we go. Last week, I think we were pretty good. I think you predicted James Peoples to score a touchdown. I predicted Ohio State's defense to get 5+ sacks.
I said 6 points. We would
Yeah,
give
you
up.
said 6 points. I think we did a solid job of doing game predictions this last week.
We did.
Uh,
Definitely did. We did very good, I thought.
well, I'm going to start off with a banger here. Brandon Ennis is going to return a punt for a touchdown.
I love, dude. That would be so. I'm bringing Troy to this game. It's gonna be his first Buckeye game. If Troy sees that, that would just make my day. Like that might honestly make my year. If my son gets to see a punt return touchdown first game, he won't remember it, but I'll be like, oh yeah, you were there, you saw it. Um, I think Will Kazmarek gets a touchdown this week because it's a MAC opponent and he's familiar with them. So I think because we're gonna look to get the tight ends involved. The tight ends I don't think had a great game against Akron. I don't think they caught a pass, honestly. I think Chip's gonna want to get them involved. And the tight ends too, they all kind of played evenly. It was, I think G had the most snaps, and then Will was at like 20, and then Jelani was 18. They were all like 22, 20, 18 snaps, all right there. I think Will, though, is going to get a touchdown this week. So that's my one prediction.
I think Jack Sawyer is going to get 2 sacks.
Dude, he might get 5 the way he's been playing. And also on Twitter, someone posted the highlights of him, and he really didn't have a great game stat wise because you look in the box score and but he was at the quarterback he had a nasty spin move where he just took the tackle and then just got right to the quarterback. He was in Finley's grill. He had an amazing game. When you flip on the tape, they just didn't like he either forced the quarterback to get rid of the ball super quick or they just didn't run towards him. It was that's why there was no stats.
Right. All right. I think it's your turn.
Is it?
Yeah, because I did Jack Sawyer.
I'm gonna say that it's a tough one. I'm gonna say that Kenyatta Jackson forced fumble.
Forced bumble.
Forced fumble.
I'm going to say with my last prediction, because I did a special teams defense and now this will be offense. I'm going to say Quinshawn Junkins scores a 20-plus yard touchdown run.
Does he do a spin move?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. He just scores a 20-plus run.
I think Jaden Ballard will return one past midfield for the Buckeyes. So
I like it.
he's not gonna house it. He's gonna get us to like the 49 of Western Michigan or like the 45. I think
All,
maybe
all I all I know is if we see a kickoff return or a punt return for a touchdown, the shoe is going to go nuts.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean that's what we need. But yeah, I mean, look, I think the spread's what 37.5. It's something.
Yeah. I also don't think we cover the spread because of the slowdown of the game, but the Buckeyes win 45-7.
I'm gonna say
Actually, that might be right at 38.
yeah, no, I like it's a really good one, Cass. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, that is right at 38. So we just cover.
I'm gonna say we're gonna win 52-10.
Okay. Austin Ward said 52-6, by the way.
Okay. I don't listen to what they say. I honestly don't. I just go off of what my gut tells me.
Yeah, I know. I know. I just I like listening to him, and I just Austin Ward made a joke saying I'm going to pick 52-6 until it.
So 52-10, and I want to preface the 7 in the 10 comes in garbage time. So
Okay.
I think their starting offense will only put up 3 because they're not as good. And then once the backups and are all in,
Somehow they get a cheap. It's still their starting offense. They get a cheap touchdown in the end when Jalen McClain or somebody's in the
some
game.
slap dicks in the game.
Slapdicks. Aaron Scott gives up the touchdown or Bryce West.
Yeah, like a rookie, like just a true freshman mistake, and like completely forget that we're in man and they're playing zone or something stupid. And then yeah, and then then we get Desmond Howard who will like hold the Buckeyes accountable for that for giving up 7 and drop us 5 spots in his rankings. It's ridiculous, but you know how it goes. You know how it goes, Cass.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because I thought Ohio State played really well against Akron. I really had no issues with it, and people are still upset. And I'm just like,
They're
all
nitpicking.
it's game 1, guys. It's all right. So like we watch some teams struggle.
Oregon.
Yeah, being down 3-0 to Akron because Jeremiah Smith dropped a screen pass for a touchdown, and then they got a lucky field goal, which was the kicker's career long, and it was not statistically um it was not a high probability field goal the guy made. I think it was like in the high 40s or 50s for a Mac kicker. Kick that all day. Go ahead. I'm fine with it.
You said 52-10, right?
Yeah, 52-10.
So, all
And
right.
funny seeing everyone's reactions on Twitter. Like when we posted the score last week, everyone was like, "Oh, really contentious," because we had the same score. The only difference was you had 3 and I had 6.
Yeah. I mean, you were closer.
Barely, yeah. I got the one. I got the one right. I didn't get the other. But yeah, I mean, any keys to the game, Cass?
Just play safe. Just play safe football. Uh, just come out healthy. And if Donovan Jackson and Cody Simon do play, put them on a pitch count. Like, don't force them to go out there and play a lot.
My key is just don't play with your food. Um, you know, start quick, start fast, and just put them to bed early. don't give all the haters or the miserables in this fan base a reason to really nitpick you or hate on you. It's look, they're gonna hate on you anyway because it's Western Michigan. They're gonna discredit it. But just start fast, man. Just don't play with them. Just get them done. Get them out of here.
Yeah, no kidding. That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it.
So
Start fast, like stay healthy.
yeah, no, that's exactly right. Ah, some good old root beer. Um, when it comes to the other games this week, Cass, really, really good slate. Um,
By the way, perfect 5-0 last week.
yeah, it's insane actually. This is will Cass ever get one wrong again? I don't know.
uh
All right. We got some real I mean, this is a really good week of college football. We kind of anticipated this though, I feel like. Um, let's kick it off. Big noon kickoff in Ann Arbor. Number 3 Texas versus number 10 Michigan.
y'all heard Dan on Twitter too.
I'll get the mullet. I absolutely so Quinn Ewers, if you do it, I'll get the mullet. Josh, your brother can do it for me.
Yeah.
My barber in town, Gabe, he's also said he can do it for me. He said, "Get I do you count the John Wick haircut as a mullet?" He said I could rock the John Wick like and get because he kind of has a mullet. It'd be kind of like a John Wick
It'd
Keanu.
be a start of a mullet.
Yeah, like I mean, it's gonna take realistically when this happens. The mullet's not coming in overnight. This is gonna be a little project. I will probably have it by December-ish.
You
Uh,
would have the mullet by the national championship.
yeah, yeah, I could do the
Just
mullet.
like I'll have the Duck Dynasty beard.
Yes, yes. So if when Texas wins, I will get the mullet. With that being said, I don't know why I I love Quinn Ewers. Um, I hope he does it to him. Like he can avenge his brothers in Buckeye Nation. I'm rooting for him. With that being said, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. There's no logic to this. I just feel like Michigan somehow wins this, and it's just gonna make everyone so mad, and it's gonna be the worst thing ever.
I think Texas wins, but that's 7.5, right?
Yeah,
Give me that team up north to cover.
I agree.
Just something tells me
Something stinks, and I don't know what it is, bro. It's there's no so the team I just watched against Fresno State. This should be a 14-point spread. Why is it only 7?
Mason Graham and Will Johnson are still really good.
Yes. And I think so. Texas arguably has one of the best offensive lines in the country. They're consistently ranked as a top 3 unit. Some are top 2, some are top 1, depending on what website you go to. The way they can neutralize that is with the 2 D tackles. Will Johnson can lock up, the number 1 receiver, I guess. And then on Michigan's offense, it's gonna Donovan Edwards. For some reason, he just rises up in big games. That dude. I don't know why. What's in the water there? Loveland will make plays. He's just a matchup nightmare for them. It, I don't. I just it's gonna make me so mad when Michigan wins this. I'm just gonna be their kicker's good. Um, they have a lot of missing pieces, but I don't know why. I don't know why they're gonna win this. I just
Yeah. I mean, like I said, something tells me that I don't think Michigan's going to win. I don't. I really don't. Sorry, I just sent you 3 graphics.
I'm getting my phone's blowing up. It's the same thing. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I'm pulling for Texas, but I'll believe it when I see it. Is what I guess what I'm saying. Um,
Yeah.
all right. Next game. This is for prime positioning in the ACC, also at noon, and this has become kind of a fun game. We have number 23 Georgia Tech at Syracuse, for basically control of the ACC. It feels like
Well, Miami.
we got to.
Basically, who's in the driver's seat to play Miami?
And Georgia Tech is a -2.5 favorite. So I'm gonna take Cuse plus 2.5. And my logic is I think Georgia Tech is a little overrated. It's not, they're a good team, Georgia Tech, but we all saw what happened Monday night with Boston College and Florida State. I'm not sure Boston College is that good. I just think Florida State sucks. And I've said this, I think 14 episodes in a row at this point. They stink.
Give me Kyle McCord in Syracuse. Something tells me that the ACC is going to be so wide open. And the thing is Kyle McCord is going to win this game at home, but by time and it's going to look like he's doing really really well, and then he's going to go back to his old self when they start playing some other ACC opponents.
So to Kyle McCord, I was watching the highlights of him play OU, like Ohio University. He has really good chemistry with that tight end number. He's a 6'5" tight end. He's literally he reminds me of Jimmy Graham.
I
It's like
mean, he basically between Cade Stover and Marvin Harrison. I mean, so yeah, I like Syracuse.
yeah, Oronde Gadsden the second. Just he's a monster. He was first team All ACC in 2022. His dad played in the NFL, Super Bowl champion, over 3,000 yards. He's a baller, this kid, and I just think he has the rapport with him. I feel like I don't think there's really anyone on Georgia Tech that's going to be able to really match up with him.
Yeah, I like Syracuse. Something tells me I like Syracuse in this game.
They can't play sloppy though. They did have a lot of like dumb mistakes against OU. They started slow. If you watch that game, they had
Who
some.
didn't start slow?
Yeah, everyone started slow. Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, Florida State's still starting slow.
Florida State proved you can be eliminated after week one.
I heard their game going to get with Florida is going to get moved to Tuesday. The week of rivalry week's going to get moved to Tuesday at 10:30 on C-SPAN 2 while everybody's at work. Isn't Iowa State on there?
I believe it is. And this is this is the one. So this is at Iowa. So I'm just gonna take I don't even know the spread. I'm just taking Iowa State.
I'm I'm
Because I
taking
feel like
Iowa.
Iowa State versus Iowa spread. Hold on. Iowa is a close 2.5 point favorite.
That's it?
There's no way. Yeah, I'll take Iowa State. I'll take them
Yeah,
because I
I
just
like
think
Iowa.
Iowa State, this rivalry, I just feel like when Iowa's good, and I think Iowa's very good this year, they just will randomly lose to Iowa State. That's my logic. Or Iowa State will play them tough.
Here's an interesting one, and the only reason why I think it's interesting now is because how bad they played this last Saturday. Boise State at Oregon, Oregon's a 19.5 point favorite.
I want to take Boise State here. It's screaming Boise State to me, but I'm gonna go with Oregon because Boise State played so well. The GD guy, what was it, 6 touchdowns? Ashton Genie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take Oregon here just because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Oregon.
Let's-
I like Oregon in a bounce back.
I do too.
However, I do have Boise State making the playoffs. If you
And they
guys
still,
remember,
yeah. Trying to see any other good games.
how many have we done?
Oh yeah, this we have that we've done 4, so we need to do one more.
Duke's Mayo Classic, Tennessee and NC State Saturday on ABC.
I like Tennessee big.
I
And
like Tennessee to cover that spread.
yeah. What is the spread?
8.
Yeah, I like Tennessee all day in this. Nico's electric. Um, NC State was losing in the second half too to Western Carolina. I don't think they're. I don't think they've gelled yet. I know everyone started slow, but they were on upset alert at one point, and they almost did get upset. I don't. I think they're a little overrated. So I love Tennessee. So that makes total sense to me.
And we should do this because we didn't do it last week and we should have done it last week, but our upset pick of the week, we forgot to do these. I got Appalachian State going into Death Valley, beating Clemson as my upset. These don't count on our overall scores, by the way. This is just like our keep your eye out upset special.
I got my upset pick. I have the Colorado Buffaloes taking down Nebraska. And my logic between this is yes, Nebraska is better on the lines. You're absolutely correct. But they are very deficient at the skill positions to the point where they're gonna get exposed. It's not like North Dakota State. North Dakota State had some guys. They had Nebraska doesn't have an identity at the skill position. They have Raiola's great, but he's also a true freshman. I think Coach Prime gets it done.
Yeah,
A heartbreaker too. Nebraska loses by 1 again.
and I want Nebraska to lose, and I want Dylan Raiola to have a bad game because I feel like he robbed Jeremiah Smith from Freshman of the Week. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a win-win. If
Yeah,
Nebraska wins, it's better for Ohio State because then hopefully it's a higher ranked Nebraska team if they come to play at the shoe. But trying to think, do we have anything else?
so 15. There's 15 Big Ten games. Big Ten went 17-1 last week. What do you think in those 15 games? What will the Big Ten's record be? Here's the losses I have. Michigan, I have Illinois losing to Kansas,
Yep.
and I have Nebraska losing to Colorado. So we will go 12-3. The Big Ten will go 12-3.
Well, I mean, are you counting the Michigan State Maryland game? That has to be a loss.
Oh, so cancel that out. So there's 14 games. And the Big Ten, well, I'm talking non-conference. So the Big Ten will go 11 and will
Yeah,
go 11 and 14.
Penn State beats Bowling Green. Minnesota bounces back, beats Rhode Island. Rutgers obviously beats Akron. Looking. Michigan State, Maryland. I like Michigan State, but Maryland probably wins that.
Indiana beats Western Illinois Friday. Ooh, Duke and Northwestern
Oh, that's a tough one. Where
up
it
on the lake.
uh battle the nerds. Give me Northwestern. Just
Yeah, I like Northwestern. 2.5-point favorite. Don't give me the total. 37.5 is the total.
it's gonna be an ugly game, but it's gonna be beautiful on TV.
Yeah, Friday night, 9 o'clock on BTN. I'll be in the middle of the farm at Fairfield Union. So,
Oh my goodness.
so
I need
yeah.
to take my inhaler, man. My asthma is killing me today. But that's all I got, Cash. You got anything else, brother?
Well, next week, bye week, so we'll have one episode, and that'll be the recap episode. So we'll take a hiatus by week 2, which that recap will come out in the beginning of the week. So can't believe already a bye week.
I know it's gonna be nice. It's like it's weird because it's we started back up and we are doing the 2 episodes a week, and I'm like already exhausted after the week 1, but it's only 12 weeks we gotta do this. So it's like, well, it's not 12. It's probably what the playoffs too, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if we might after the Big Ten championship, we win. If we win the Big Ten championship, we'll have a week off.
That is true. And then yeah, exciting stuff. But that's all I got. So thank you so much for everyone.
Enjoy the NFL this week.
Yes, enjoy that. We'll be talking about that Sunday. Right, we'll be going all over that. But go thank you so much for listening, and go Bucks.
Go Bucks.